Hey guys, welcome to Sarahmony. Today I don't really know anything. I don't know what's gonna happen realistically. I'm just really felt the need to sit within myself, allow things to come up as they need to come up, and just breathe, connect with my body, just take this time to connect with myself. There's been so much activations and adjustments and downloads and things happening. Where there's so much change within myself going on that part of me almost feels like it's putting the brakes on. It's like too fast, too much all at once, and then I'm getting things like, oh, no one's gonna want to keep watching the same thing over and over. They're not gonna want another guided meditation thing. It's getting boring. Do something different. And it's like, no, this is important to come into myself, to feel, to ground, to center, to connect the breath to this feeling, to this energetic space, so that I have access to that immediately. Anytime I just think, okay, deep breath, let it out, do that a couple times, and I can feel my body reacting to that already. Just, oh, this is that thing we do where we center or we ground. So, it brings that into that frequency, into that space. And of course, there's the, uncertainty around what I'm doing. It feels good. It feels excited. And then when I don't immediately follow up on that, I almost fall up to, oh, we're not doing that. So I feel like I'm dropping in energy. Well, okay, we're not doing that, shucks. And it's really interesting to feel the difference between when I am following my excitement and when my mind decides that, oh, that's not going to work out, that's too much, like making all these excuses or all these reasons why that is not valid, or why that's not a way to go, or why that isn't safe, or acceptable. And it's just having a different perspective. Like, even these videos I've posted, I found out someone had taken my image and made a short claiming I was somebody else, which I thought was hilarious. And I was like, well, I guess it's free advertising. I don't know. A friend of mine got quite outraged over that, and I was just like, I don't know, what should I do about it? Like, obviously he found it and decided I was drawn to my image for some reason and made his own thing and claiming I was somebody else. I didn't see the resemblance, but who knows. Yeah. And things like this, like just talking to myself, even though you guys are, sharing in this as well, but I can highly recommend doing this, of just like no thinking, just word vomiting. Sounds horrible, but just letting it out. Maybe we call it automatic talking. You're just talking automatically, not thinking about what you're saying. They do the same thing with writing. They call it automatic writing, where you just put your pen down on paper and you just keep writing, even if you have to write, I don't know what to write about, and so I'm just going to keep writing and see what comes out. Same with this automatic talking. Because sometimes it allows you to reflect on things and let them come out in ways that you didn't know that was what your mind or what you were feeling around. This happened to me just the other day. I was talking to a friend, telling them about something, and my partner wanted to use this one person for an event, and I felt uneasy around that. I wasn't sure. And then when I was telling my friends about it, what came out was that I didn't feel like they were reliable. And that hadn't been conscious, but when I spoke, it just came out. So sometimes having the opportunity like this, where you can reflect on things, even if it's through video or through voice recording or through writing, that things are able to come out that don't get stopped by your brain, that you can just talk about and kind of brainstorm around without having to use your brain, just letting it come out, and then you can listen back to it and find out what you actually said. I had this conversation with a counselor once, and because I was going to school and I wasn't sure if I should keep going or if I should do something else, and I talked for her for an hour, or talked at her almost for an hour, and then at the end she's like, well, it sounds like you know what you want to do. And it was almost like I woke up out of trance, and I'm like, I just remember the last sentence. Like, what did I say? Like, I didn't say it out loud. I should have. But that was another, example of this cathartic talking, of releasing words and allowing the feelings to be expressed, or the underlying currents to be expressed, without you having to engage your thinking and then like, okay, what did I just say? What did I just say? And then you get out of that flow state. And if you're having trouble, like sometimes just getting into that breathing, that embodiment state of like being grounded in your center, in your heart space, and then just starting to talk. And if you feel unconscious about it, hum, make a noise, just start saying, I don't know what I need to say. So I'm just going to start saying some words and see what comes out. And I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking and figure out eventually something else will happen. Something else will come out. And sometimes that's maybe nothing more than that, but it's just a practice as well. If you're not used to it, it's easy for your mind to stop yourself, because you're like, how am I going to sound? How am I going to look? And it doesn't matter, because you're the only one who has control over where this video voice recording is going to go. For myself, I choose to share it with you guys, because I feel like my journey, what I'm going through, the feelings I'm having, the struggles I'm having, the joys I'm having, those are all examples for myself, as well as, for whoever resonates with this, to kind of be a bit of a cheerleader of like, hey, I know it can be rough, or hey, this is a thing that I learned or I've experienced that's helpful. Maybe it will work for you. Try it out. Don't give up. You can do it. Don't worry about the first time needing to be perfect. It's messy. That's what it is for humans. That's what it's supposed to be. You know, if everything's perfect, you might as well be in spirit, and there's no point to being here. I'm not saying you should leave, I'm just saying embrace being here. You know, embrace the humanness, embrace the thing that you cannot do in spirit that you can do as a human. That's things people don't realize. Being human, you can feel in ways that spirit cannot. Because spirit cannot feel pain. There is no such thing. So this is partly when people, you know, are praying and saying, I'm in so much pain, please help me. You know, higher conscious spirit is like, what are you talking about? There's no, everything is perfect. What are you talking about pain? Like, what is this thing? They don't have a concept for that. They don't have a body. They don't have chemicals that then they can feel in this way. At least this is my personal belief. You know, take it and leave it. But it does resonate deeply within myself that this is my truth. I don't know why I had to explain that. But that's my belief around that. And which also explains why manifestation, what you focus on is what you get. Because there is no good or bad. It all just is. So the only mechanism for, you know, higher consciousness, universe, whatever you want to call it, can bring you stuff is if you focus on it. This is where I put my energy in, so this is what I'm empowering. So this is what becomes more in my life. And when we have a, you know, random focus where we get distracted or we, you know, watch general news and get bombarded with all these, you know, bad things happening, then those are the things that get more put into our awareness, into our field. It doesn't mean those things aren't happening anymore in the world, but those things aren't necessarily happening in your world. And I think that's where people have a misunderstanding. They're looking at the larger world and they're assuming, well, what can I do to fix that? When in reality, they have to look at their own world, not necessarily fix, but change the focus in their own world. And then their changed focus is going to empower the peace, the love, the kindness, the generosity, all the things, the connectivity, the love, the heart space, all the things that they're looking for, they're desiring. When they create that within themselves, then that resonates into the greater world. So you don't bring peace to the world by bringing peace to the world. You bring peace to the world by bringing peace to yourself first. And then that frequency resonates out into the greater world. It may at first only be within your personal space, but the more you generate, the more you focus on that, the more you cultivate that, the bigger it gets and the more influence it becomes. And eventually enough people doing this, it will, you know, collate all the way around the world and it will take over. So yeah, that's kind of my, I don't know if it's a rant or a share this morning. But there's definitely something to be said for just word flow, just letting it out, just talking. And yeah, another tool in your tool chest. And hopefully you have an amazing day in your human life. Bye for now.